continue with our new unit on ecosystem. So yesterday we talked about ecosystem and the components present in ecosystem. Ecosystem as such is a large unit which consists of living community. When I say living community, that means it may be plants, animals, microbes, which interact with what? With the physical environment. Physical environment means air, temperature, soil. All this together forms the ecosystem. So this ecosystem can begin with a small plant in our garden, to a wider aspect, a large forest. So if you go, it can be with a small plant or a large forest to form the forest ecosystem. So when we go to ecosystem, it is nothing but so many living communities coming together and interacting with the physical environment. That is forming our ecosystem. And when this ecosystem is there is one more unit there that is called as biosphere. Biosphere means it's the zone which supports living. Earth is a biosphere where we can live. That means living conditions are conducive for the growth of an organism or growth of plants, growth of animals. That is biosphere. So biosphere is nothing but the largest ecosystem found on the earth. Biosphere. If we go to large areas where there is high temperature or very low temperature, below freezing temperature, where life is not possible, so that is not a biosphere. So the largest ecosystem on earth is nothing but biosphere. But to study biosphere it is very difficult because it's a large unit. So this biosphere is divided into different ecosystems, like forest ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem. You are going to divide pond ecosystem. You are going to divide so that you can study it much better. Yesterday we took the food chain. Now why are we taking the example of a food chain? Because see, in food chain what is happening? There is transfer of energy from one level to other. When it starts, it starts with the producer. Producer, they are the plants. We are calling plants as the universal producers or primary producers. Why do we call them as producers? Because they can prepare food. Food. What is this food? Like glucose. Taking energy from sunlight. That means, see, you are fixing which energy? Solar energy. Solar energy is fixed by these plants. That means solar energy is getting converted into which energy? Chemical energy. So did you understand? Solar energy means energy coming from sun. Nowadays we have seen this solar energy. The sun has immense lot of energy present in it. And this is something which will not get exhausted. So we need to harvest this solar energy. You have seen solar panel, solar cookers. Some of the organizations are there which are utilizing solar energy. So here solar energy being used by these plants for the production of food. That means solar energy getting converted into what? Chemical energy. Later on it goes to the second level. So which is our first level? Producer. From producer it will go to the next level, that is consumer. then you went to high school, like that. So here primary consumers, example herbivores. In herbivores you remember cow, all those grass eating, plant eating animals are called herbivores. These herbivores, next consumer level, secondary consumer is carnivores. Carnivores means they eat flesh. Flesh, meat eating animals are called carnivores. Like you have lion, tiger, they are carnivores. Then after this we have your omnivores, they eat both. So these are the two levels of consumers. Primary consumers, secondary consumers, and we have even tertiary consumers, the third level of consumers. So but here now there is one more group of organisms. There is one more group named as decomposers. At every level we have these decomposers. Now what are these decomposers? Decomposers means what they do? They feed on the waste plant or waste animals or debris. Debris means waste materials. So they depend on that. That means it helps in recycling. Decomposers. That means if a plant falls onto the soil or onto the mud, it is being decomposed. Decomposed by who? The decomposers or recyclers. They recycle or they help to remove the debris from, they are also called as scavengers. You know scavengers, they remove the waste from the surface of the earth. So these are the different groups you can see in the food chain. Like yesterday I told plant, grasshopper, frog, then snake, further by eagle, hawk. So this is one food chain, one example of a food chain. Plant, rabbit by tiger, another one food chain. That means you have producers and consumers in a food chain. So three levels if you say, producers, herbivores and carnivores. These are the three levels of food chain. And at every level we have some other things called as decomposers. Now we will see the division of ecosystem. Page number 107. They have given the ecosystem. Before the division of ecosystem, you should know what is ecosystem. Ecosystem is nothing but the living community. Living community means which is living with interactions with the physical environment. You know two factors, biotic and abiotic. In an ecosystem you have both biotic factors and abiotic. Biotic factors may be flora or fauna. Flora means plants, fauna is nothing but animals. So this interacts with the soil, interacts with the air, interacts with the pH of the soil. So these all factors together forms our ecosystem. So this ecosystem definition is clear, you have to write it. Next is the division of ecosystem. There are basic two types of ecosystem. Natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. So look at page number 107. Natural ecosystem and artificial. Natural ecosystem further divided into two. Terrestrial ecosystem. Terrestrial, you know what is the term terrestrial? Terrestrial means found on the land. We say dog is which animal? Terrestrial animal. Then what is fish? Fish is an aquatic animal. Why aquatic? Because it is found in the water. But frog is an amphibian. Amphibian, why do we call it as amphibian? Because it can live both on land and water. So amphibian. So here terrestrial ecosystem further divided into grassland ecosystem, then forest ecosystem and desert ecosystem. So remember, ecosystem divided basically into two: natural ecosystem, artificial ecosystem. Natural further divided into two: terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic. In terrestrial you have three: grassland, forest and desert. While in aquatic you have another fresh water, you know what is fresh water. You have rivers, ponds, lakes, these are fresh water. But if you take the example of seas, oceans, they are not fresh water, they are salty water, marine. So you have freshwater ecosystem and marine water ecosystem. So we will continue in next class. Thank you.